Uh-oh. I'm all over the place. Hey, it's Lowery Smith of the CommanderSmiths here with we're doing searching for the spotlight, Saint Traft and Rem. All right. But first, CommanderSmiths are I must have knocked everything around. What the shit? Um CommanderSmiths is a podcast that records live every Monday night on YouTube here, but also we have audio across all podcast services. And that should be man. All right, let's see here. Let's go that route. A little over. I am late, Renshaw. You're right. You're right. I apologize. Technically, just still hungover. No, kids were tough to put down tonight, which is okay. Um, because Daddy took a nap, 2 hours, and the kids don't need 2 hour naps, so that was my fault. Um, All right, let's see here. We have a Patreon, and then if you want to join that, then we have an awesome Discord. We give away proxies, which you will see in here at some point, like this guy right here, and to our patrons. And Adam works on those, who is my co-host and cousin. We just got done with SmithCon, which was a lot of fun. We throw a little party for our patrons every, once a year. This is our second year we've done it. Other than that, yeah, let's get into the deck a little bit. Eh? All right, Saint Traft and Rem Karolus, blue and a red and a white, 3/4 spirit human. Whenever Saint Traft and Rem become tapped, create a 1/1 red human creature token. Uh, if it's the first time. If it's the second time, you get to do a 1/1 blue spirit creature token with flying. And if it's a third time in a turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Then, whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, untap Saint Traft and Rem. And I like tapping and untapping stuff. I've kind of been into that since Tacasia for a bit. Um, and so it's kind of fun. We'll see where it goes. I have a lot of cards here, so I'm going to want to try and go kind of fast. So I'm not going to I'll explain why a popular card is there, but I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to go here for this, here for that, and then I'll get into maybe the more obscure cards a little bit more. And so what we're potentially going here is like Spirit Tribal. There's a lot of Convoke, maybe some tokens, some um what is it? Direct damage, and I'm gonna have to cut a lot. I'm pretty sure there's over 200 cards here, and I'm gonna try and go through all that within an hour, and then have about an hour or two afterwards, and try and cut as much as I can down to a reasonable, cohesive deck. I normally try and get in the 70s. I normally run in this. I'll probably run 37 land, and then enough ramp to go from there. And if you're not watching live, I highly suggest watching this at 1.5 to 2 times speed. You'll go through it. You'll get a lot of good info. And also, it's always kind of fun to hear people are building along, with the show. So if you're building decks and then you just want to hear in the background or whatever, that's probably opportune time to be doing it. All right, let's go through. I'm going to start off with the draw package. This is Teferi, who slows the sunset. Um, I don't even. It's just like here for the untapping part, but I think it's just I'm gonna cut it right away, right away. I've had this for a bit, uh, hanging around. I built Shalai and Halar last, and then also Zamon and Dina. I really like the pairing of legends that they did. And so I really enjoyed it, but we'll see where this goes. All right, Jeskai Ascendancy here. This is here for the draw and discard whenever you cost a non-creature spell, but also boost your gang. So if I do end up having a lot of tokens, it can go really nice. Also, just something else that's untapping all of my creatures will be helpful. This is basically a mainstay in here. This will stay. Sphinx of the Second Sun. Here you get a second upkeep in your post combat. It's an untapper, it's an extra draw, and it's kind of nice. I don't think there's going to be too much upkeep stuff here. But Sphinx of the Second Sun, being at 8 mana might be a little rough because I think I'm going to end up wanting to be casting like X spells or and it's a little tough. Convoke is, they're all high CMC, but they kind of if I have enough creatures, the tokens are nice. I don't know how many convoke spells will actually be in here. Let's just cut this right off the bat. I'm gonna cut as we go. Smuggler's Share, cheap enough, it's gonna come down, gets me some draw, gets me some treasures. So let's keep that for now. Master of Ceremonies gets me tokens, gets me treasures, and gets me some draw. It does kind of a lot that I like that's going on in this deck. There might be a little bit of a artifact thing going on too. We will have to see what happens there, but we'll keep that around. I got a lot of little cantripping things in here, so I'm not sure what I'll go with, but telling time. Look at the top 3 cards, choose one, put on one on top and one on bottom. Not a bad choice. Impulse is look at the top 4, put one into your hand. I don't care about the word draw. I'm just looking for card selection. Maybe I'm digging for a bigger spell, a convoke spell, maybe something else, but I like not having to it has to be like a creature card or a non-creature card or whatever. These are just whatever it is. Idol of Oblivion. Whenever you can tap it, if a token came into play and draw a card. There should be a token deck. Holy fuck. What is going on? Let's see here. Is my audio sounding okay? 'Cause something. All right. I don't know why that just made a loud noise at me. So drawing cards. Treasure map is here to scry and it's cheap and also getting them treasures. And if I do have enough treasures, it's extra draw as well. Smuggler's Copter, there is a handful of vehicles in here because that allows you to tap certain creatures, like St. Traft and maybe something else in here. So that's just a free thing to be able to tap my creatures. And that's probably more like in a pinch. So we'll see how many of those. If they're practical, they'll stick around. If not, they're gonna go. Plarg, Dean of Chaos, here to discard a card, draw a card. That 5 is but the backside's pretty cool as well. So whenever you attack, untap each creature you control. So untap them all, then tap any number of creatures you control. So that gets you a potential other untap as well with Augusta. So let's go with that. Kazla's there because of the whenever you cast a Convoke spell, scry 2, draw a card. Also has Convoke, Flying Vigilance Haste, doing a lot of work there. Ifara, God of the Polis. Whenever you have it's draw at the beginning of each upkeep. If you had another creature enter the battlefield under your control last turn, draw a card. And so if I'm able to tap this on other people's turns, always drawing a card. I got probably plenty to choose from. So I think, ooh, we'll keep that around for a bit. Give me a second. Okay. Whirlwind of Thought, draw a card for each non-creature spell you draw. So the tokens are probably going to be non-token spells. Uncut, Grand Metatech. Okay, my audio is good. Thanks, Renchai. Whenever a blue creature I control is tapped, I get to draw a card and discard a card and other thing. But it's here for the draw discard, and that is cool. Tandem Lookout. I do have kind of surrounding damage, and so if I can get this style of curiosity on a creature, you can start drawing a lot of cards. And that's just kind of that bit. So that's one of those like if I start cutting those cards, I'm going to cut them all, and then some of these support cards go away too. Ingenious Mastery. I've liked it, but this is not one that I've played. But it's 3 mana basically, and then you get to draw. Let's see here. If the 3 was cost was paid, you draw 3 cards for 3 mana, which is a pretty good cost. But an opponent gets 2 treasure tokens and scries 2, which I think is a fair trade. So 3 mana for 3 cards is good. That downside doesn't feel awful. So we'll see how that works. Ophidian Eye, just like the Tandem Lookout, drawing a bunch of cards if I can get it on. Let's just talk about like Therma Alchemist. That taps deals a damage to each opponent. So that's 3 cards for you if that's the case. And if that sticks around, that'll be of one mind. You draw 2 cards. It costs 2 less if you control a human and a non-human. This is a human and then creates non-humans. So I feel like there's a chance that that is just blue and draw 2 cards. Ghastly Discovery has Conspire, which allows you to tap your creatures and then copy it, and then it's draw 2 cards, discard a card. Ghostly Pilferer, whenever it untaps, you get to draw a card. You can discard cards to make it unblockable, but it's there just kind of for the benefit of it coming open. Also, a spirit, like I said, potentially a spirit deck, Spirit Cleric, Bygone Bishop. So creatures CMC 3 or less, you get to investigate. Not a bad deal. Takasi is welcome. 1 time per turn. If you have a creature with 3 or mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield, draw a card. So if I'm able to start draw or like creating tokens on everybody's turn, always going to trigger that, which is nice. Dragon Rage Channeler, Surveil 1 for non-creature spells. I don't really it might be it's nice and cheap, and I don't care about the forcing me to attack because I can tap it down for convoke costs. I like it so far. Seize the spoils. It's draw and create treasures, and that's not a bad thing. I do have a lot of discard going on here, so I want to make sure that I have a little bit of interaction with my graveyard, so I'm not losing some of the stuff. So, but universal surveillance. It has improvise, so tapping artifacts, draw X cards. It does not. I don't love that it's a sorcery, and I don't know how many artifacts I actually have in here. I do want some artifacts, but I don't want it's not gonna be huge into it, so maybe we'll cut that right away. Interdisciplinary mascot. It's 5/5 with Convoke, and you get to look at cards and put some of them in your hand. And so Convoke is the big thing. Transcendent Message is drawing X cards with the Convoke. And then so that's not bad. Convoke gonna go in there. All right, Zephyr Scribe. This is a draw discard style card. Not a good one, but whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap it. And so being able to convoke a non-creature spell, having it untapped, just like Saint Traft, kind of a fun thing. And then if you don't have to do it, you can pay the blue, draw a card, discard a card, stuff like that. So just added extra value. Sire of the Storm, whenever you cast a spirit, draw a card. 6 mana makes it a little tough, but um, we'll see where it goes. Inspired Sprite. Whenever you play a wizard spell, you may untap it, and then it taps to draw a card, discard a card. So there's gonna be a little that's gonna be a thing I want to be able to do is like whenever this if this creature is tapped and it has a tap ability, if something happens, you get to untap it and you get to do it again. And that I think that kind of works with the convoke idea too. So that's probably the main one, and then supplement in spirits, but we'll see where it goes. And it might just be tokens and I don't know. Knight Errant of Eos. It just ETBs with convoke, get something into your hand. Benny Brax has convoke, drawing cards whenever once a turn, whenever you have a token come into play. So works with the treasures, which works with the tokens, perfect for this deck. Hanger Scrounger. Whenever it becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So effect for becoming, convoking +1/+1. I don't really care about that counter, but Bitter Reunion, enchantment. When it comes into play, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards, and then you can sack it to give everything haste. Pretty cool card. It's one that Jacuzzi on the Discord has pushed for a little bit, and I agree with them. So I like the card. Fallow Sage, when it becomes tapped, draw a card. Meeting of the Minds, convoke, draw 2 cards, which seems like a actually decent card. Like 4 mana to draw 2 cards at instant speed is a thing, but having the convoke part seems pretty solid. So here's another thing is like you'll see a little bit of a tap theme, like tapping opponent's creatures down. And so if you're tapping opponent's creatures down, Verity Circle is great because then you get to draw cards, or if they have mana dorks, whatever, it could be solid. Whir of Invention, another one of those inspiring card or improvising cards, like tap artifacts to add to the X and go get an artifact. That seems a little bit better than the draw version of it. Plus, it being instant allows me to do it whenever I need to. So, Archmage Emeritus, whenever you cast a copy, an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. Again, we'll see how many instants or sorceries or creatures that you have going on makes it happen. Folk Hero, whenever you cast a spirit one time per turn, draw a card. And so if I do go spirit tribal a little bit, this can stay in, but if not, it goes away. Tallowisp is something that we're going to cut. It is a spirit, but whenever you cast a spirit, you can go find an aura and put in your hand. I like this a lot. I just don't think I have any auras in here. But if you have a spirit deck, you should probably have this in here for that tutor effect. Search Supremacist. Whenever a creature attacks, you are Planeswalker. Investigate, which is making clues. And you're also high on Bitter Reunion, Renshai? Yeah, okay. This will probably be the first deck that I'm considering it for. So we'll see if it makes it in there. Cause right now, I like the red's ability to discard a card and draw a couple of cards. But I think in this deck, I'm wanting the treasures. And so we'll see if not having the treasures matters. But I also, if I'm tokening, the mass haste is really nice too. So Search Supremacist would be there just to have artifacts coming into play. Welcoming Vampire is to draw cards off the tokens coming into play. Same thing with Mentor of the Meek. And so drawing more cards. Rumor Gather, also the scrying and the draw one for the tokens. Big Score, Unexpected Windfall, Pirates Pillage, all there. They're discards, draw some, get some treasures. So that's kind of what I'm preferring, but we will see if they're too much mana. That can be a problem. That's always the thing that puts me off. So it's like a faithless looting that gives your board haste. Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. I mean, at 1 mana, Faithless Looting is pretty good, but 2 mana is not bad. So, and then Preordained, Ponder, Serum Visions, Opt, all nice 1 mana cantrips that kinda just let you see more cards. And then Tapala Pilot Exemplar. There was another part, I cut about 20 cards before yesterday where I had, like, a dwarf, like, theme going on too, and I was like, "I can't have spirits and dwarfs," which was gonna be, like, non-basic land hate. So I cut the dwarfs, but I still have some of there's a handful of dwarfs in here, and there's a handful of vehicles. Let's just cut it. And then Curiosity there for the mass damage. We got, like, 5 cards. Let's see what else. Let's see what we don't like. Serum Visions is generally, like, my least favorite out of those. Opt, Big Score, bop, bop, bop. I like the treasures. Um, Rumor. I think, mm, mm, probably gonna cut Search Supremacy. PPPP. We'll keep Search Supremacists. I think we're gonna cut Archmage. I think this is gonna be a pretty well balanced deck. So a 4 mana that might draw me 2-ish cards. But then if I'm doing that, oh, that has to be instant or sorcery, which is different than the other. What's Jeskai Ascendancy? Because that's a non-creature spell, which is different. Allows me to have enchantments, artifacts. I don't think I have many planeswalkers in here, but not many. So for now, I like these. And I think if I'm not going spirit tribal and I want to try and fit in those tappers that untap, I think that seems more interesting to me as well. I think you're right. We'll keep Bitter Reunion. So we'll cut probably the tribal ideas as we're going along too. Um and probably focus on the more janky version. And so there's still plenty of cards to choose from, but I really like the idea of 4 mana's a lot to look for untappers. So anything we'll cut that. Anything tribal, I think we just start cutting. Word of Invention can stay. Verity Circle can stay for now. We'll have to go through. Um, that part, the removal part, and see what's going on. Meeting of the Minds, Fallow Sage. So 4 mana can be draw a discard, Benny Brax, Knight Errant, Inspired Sprite, Zephyr Scribe. I like that. Like that. That's fine. It's fine. Bygone Bishop. Whenever you cast a creature, it is a spirit, so like I can still kind of have my hold my preference towards spirits for now. Hedge the bets on spirits. Dwarfs are gone. Of one mind. That's not a bad deal. That's a little bit later. Ophidian Eye. I like Tandem Walkout. I think Ingenious Mastery just kind of has to go away for now. Uncut. Whenever you cast a non-creature. So I like the Apheric God of the Polis. That's in. I like the Plarg because of the untapping part of it. Let's see here. Impulse, Tilling Time. Oof. Okay. All right. We're all right with that for now. Not too bad so far. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Already cut 11 cards. And we have the idea that I don't think we won't keep around tribal or anything too specific about artifacts. All right, onto the land portion. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It's a really solid card. I mean, obviously, if you play standard, you're gonna know this it's good, but the treasures, the draw discard, and then making copies of stuff. I don't really care about the copies part. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm Saint Traft, I have a section for copying, and that's why is there for like the Sakashimas. I probably should get a spark double in there too, but Kikijiki, Orthilian, Sahili Ride don't really work. And so maybe we can cut those for now. But just the other thought that I'm having is like having multiple Saint Drafts, being able to convoke a bunch of cards or have them tap for other reasons probably works, but I probably don't care about copying of other spells. So let's cut those for now. And I think we can cut Fable as well. Don't ask me why. All right. Ragavan. Kind of there because there's one card that allows me to untap whenever I cast a pirate, but also like the potential treasure, having the treasure thing go on. We'll keep it around. I haven't played with Ragavan. I've had it for a year now. Academy Manufacturer. If I'm having clues and treasures come into play, that makes sense. Magus the Red. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature token you control has flying. And then whenever it deals damage, you get a 3/3 red spawn token. So there's a handful of X spells, and I like that potential lowering cost. Storm the Vault gives you treasures for each opponent that you hit, and that's not a bad thing. Galazeth Prismari allows me to tap those clue and treasure for mana. So we'll see how much treasure actually stays in here. Prosperous Partnership. You can tap 3 untapped creatures you control to create a treasure token. Again, more treasures. Talisman for mana. Sorcerer class. If you listen to the podcast, I love this card. But you can tap your creatures for red or blue mana for instant and sorcery spells. It also just kind of levels up, which is kind of nice. But it's here mostly to allow my creatures to tap for mana for those X spells and make it feel more convokey, even though there isn't a lot of convoke cohesion. So one thing about convoke is like, it's costed, which is fine because you're using your creatures in the mana, but there isn't really a thing it does. It's just kind of what Selesnya did, and then in the newest set, Mom, they added red into it, and a red and blue, but it's still kind of not doing a thing other than using um just convoking. Okay. So it's just kind of weird that way. Wrench, I don't do combo. So yeah, Sahili Rai and Felidar Guardian combo. You can just, if you're in red and white, you can always do that. It's not something that this deck really wants to do. it's not something that I do. So, Chief Engineer allows you to tap your creatures for artifact spells, and it gives them your artifact spells convoke, which is kind of nice. So, that is one that will stay in, and kind of why I want the artifact theme a little bit, I guess, but I don't know. Moon Snare prototype, tap it and an artifact or creature you control to add a colorless. So its ramp allows Saint Traft and Rem to tap for mana. Arcane Signet, tap for mana. Food Chain's wrong color, bud. Wrong color. Space Marine Scout, ETB gets you a plane. I think I have plenty to choose from, especially with the treasures going on. So we could probably get rid of that. Wand of the World Soul, the next spell you cast has Convoke. So if it can give Convoke, that's also really nice. So we'll do that's a definitely good card. I like that a lot. Deep Note and Terramancer allows you to go and get a plane, put it in a hand if yada yada yada. It's a thing that white does. I like that one so far. So we'll do that. Curse of Opulence gets you gold whenever a cursed player is attacked. Dockside Extortionist works. Horde Hauler is a gets you treasure for each artifact your opponent controls that it hits. It's a crew 3. It's one of those vehicle I was saying that could potentially help out and get you a bunch of art or blah, blah, blah. Stormkiln Artist. Whenever you cast a copy an instant spell, create a treasure token, gets +1 +0 for each artifact you control. So again, if I'm comparing this to Archmage Emeritus, I don't think I'm gonna get many treasures out of it, but it gets that big bonus of the +1 +0 when you're running a bunch of treasures. This deck sucks, you don't even know. Are we talking about because it doesn't have food chain? Probably. So, okay. So I think I can cut Stormkiln Artist. Rose Room Treasurer is whenever a creature comes into play, get a treasure for the first and second one. Then you can start pinging people or just paying X. So that'll stay. Magda, whenever it becomes tapped, get a treasure. Makes sense to me. Sunscape Familiar, blue spells cost 1 less. So we'll see. Keeper of the Cord allows you to go get a land or create a token or create a creature token. They're both kind of doing the same thing, helping out if I'm behind. We'll keep this for now. Scouting Hawk goes gets a planes. If you're behind, don't need that. Like I was saying, don't necessarily need the land. Monologue Tax gets me treasures. I should probably get my Smothering Tithe around here. Archmay or Archaeomancer's Map. It is an artifact, which is kind of nice. Goes get 2 planes. We'll keep that around for now. Descent into Avernus as I feel like this keeps on being brought up, but it speeds the game up. People take damage, everybody gets treasures. And I like the way that this potentially can go. Koth Fire of Resistance. Now, I know this sounds ridiculous, but this might be Red's version of Liliana of the Dark Realms. The one that goes and gets a swamp and put it in your hand, because this goes gets a mountain put in your hand. Then the next one she does is kind of a removal bit, and then his deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control, which again is kind of the same realm there. And then you get an emblem of whenever a mountain enters the battlefield, deals 4 damage to any target. And hers is 4 mana for whenever a swamp is tapped. So a little bit different, but kind of there. So this is potentially really underrated. Kind of half deciding I don't need to go and get lands, and this is basic mountain, and I think that is basic swamp. But we'll keep that around for now. Let's see what happens to it. I would just say build a better deck. No, no, I would not build a better deck. I will build my deck and have it whoop. Vault Robber. It's a little bit of a dwarf, but creating treasure tokens, tapping, stuff like that. We'll see. We'll see. Loyal Warhound. Getting lands. Don't really need that for now. Might add in some of these rampers if I don't have enough creatures to convoke at the beginning of a game, but that's something that I figure out later on. Cultivator's Caravan. Taps for mana, cruise, so allows me to tap stuff. We'll work with that. Scare Tiller, whenever it taps, get a land from the graveyard into play. I like it a lot. Chromatic Lantern. The Convoke is kind of nice because it taps for the color as well, potentially. And so I don't know if I need Lantern. Let's cut that. No, I'm not putting Armageddon in here either. The Golden Throne. That's a big pooper. Um, I like this in potential like token decks because you can sacrifice stuff to add 3 mana. But also it's kind of a savior. We'll see. I haven't actually had it in a deck yet. It's just I don't normally like getting rid of my creatures. So we'll see if this makes it, but I'm gonna try. Betrayer Sealed taps for a mana and then can untap target legendary creature you control. I don't think I want that. I'd rather have the mass untapping for the convoke part. So we'll do that. Aerial Surveyor. I think I'm going to end up having enough vehicles so one that goes and gets me a land can kind of go away. Solemn, great. Another talisman. On a Worn Shaku, I can tap legendary permanents for mana to untap this. Yeah, untap it. So this is nice. I need to get the relic as well because I already have the relic in 2 other decks. I like that one almost better than this one for sure. So, but that's there. Victory Chimes untaps during target other players on tap steps, and then a player of your choice adds colorless. We could probably get rid of that. Planar Atlas, this is something that I want to try out too. So ETBs, look at the top 4, put a land into your hand, comes into play taps for a colorless. It's cheap, goes get you another land potentially, and then it's a little bit of mana. Ornithopter of Paradise taps for any mana. Soul Ring, clearly. Paradise Mantle allows me to tap Saint Traft for mana. Wayfarer's Bauble allows me to go get a land, and Springleaf Drum tapping Saint Traft for mana. All right, the 2 big piles of stuff are gone. Let me see if there's anything that I want to get rid of again. 'Cause sometimes you go through. We're probably gonna have to cut Solemn eventually. Just that curve is gonna kill me. Cultivator, Volt Robber, Koth, Map. Let's see here. I don't hate too much of this. Yeah, I don't hate too much of that. All right, quick drink. All right, we are at a half hour at this point. Not doing too bad. I'll have to speed up a little bit. All right, let's go with protection. Creatures get indestructible, creates tokens. I like it. Protection, prevention with convoke and flash. Also like that. Rootbone born defense, indestructible populate. So creating one of those tokens. Maybe it's going to be an angel. Free indestructible with flawless maneuver. Masako the humorless allows me to block with my creatures that I have convoked with. So that's kind of nice. Catilda Dawnheart, it gets +X for each spirit and enchantment you have, and then it can be an aura doing the same thing. And I'm gonna have some spirits, I'm assuming. I, I but I think we'll cut it just because for the idea of no real tribal thing going on. So we'll do that. Fanatical Devotion and Martyr's Cause, you can sacrifice creatures to regenerate or prevent damage. And I should have enough tokens to save St. Traft. Drogue Skull Reinforcements. It has melee. Other spirits you control have melee. And then prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to spirits you control. So St. Traft is a spirit, creates a spirit, and there are going to be some spirit. And since this is a support card rather than a spirit card, we'll keep it around. Roar of Resistance. Creature tokens have haste for you, and then whenever one or more creatures attacks, you can pay 2. If you do, creatures attacking your opponents and or planeswalkers they control get +2/+0 till end of turn. Creatures attacking. It's not just tokens. Hmm. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Leon and Elder gain a life whenever an artifact comes into play. I have so much going on. I should not care about life gain. Okay. Rebuff the Wicked. Counters a spell that targets a permanent I control. Let's get rid of it. Spirit Bombs. Whenever you cast a non-token creature, you can pay a white to get a 1/1 spirit. Then you can pay 2, sack a spirit, target non-spirit creature gains indestructible. Shoot. Non-spirit creature gains indestructible. So St. Traft could not become indestructible, which would suck. Still don't hate it. Various protection, clearly. Aerial boost. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. Convoke is there for the convoke. Convoke, preventing damage. Chant of Vitu-Ghazi. Meditation puzzle is convoke, gain life. We'll cut that. Clever concealment, convoke, and phasing. We'll do that. Ephemeral shields, convoke, indestructible. Again, I want to try and keep convoke, but if it's not really in the theme of like it doesn't protect, remove, draw, ramp, or try and do something, it's gonna be hard to keep. Burning Sun's Fury has convoke and then does a little boosty. Up to 2 creatures get +2/+0 and haste until end of turn. Not a bad deal. Romisian Greatsword. So it's equipment, it gets +3/+1 and has trample. It's gonna be, I think that's gonna be a no from me, dog. We'll get rid of that. I'd rather have an instant speed one, I think. Spellskite, great protection. Lazo Tep Plating gets me a token, makes everything hexproof. All my stuff hexproof. We'll probably cut that for now. It's a really good card. I like it a lot. But Spectral Arcanist, 3/2 flying for 4 spirit. But when it ETBs, you can cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of spirits you control from a graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. So it's any graveyard, as many spirits as you have or less for free. Seems sweet. Breath of the Sleepless. Spirits gain flash. And then whenever you cast a creature spell during an opponent's turn, tap up to 1 target creature. So again, part of that tapping, a little bit of spirit support. So I can dig it. The temple, your temple is under attack. You and somebody else get to draw 2 cards, or creatures you have are indestructible. Selfless Spirit, sack it. My creatures gain indestructible. 12's Trickery to protect my stuff as a counter spell. Bubble Matrix. What am I doing? It's a blue deck. I can pick blue counter spells if I so wish, and I won't. Cutting Trickery. Sorry, Renshai. Bubble Matrix. All damage dealt to creatures are reduced to 0. And so I can block for days. Blasphemous Act won't affect me. And then that is where the surrounding direct damage can come into play and save the day. Konda's Banner. You can only attach to a legendary creature. Creatures that share a color with the equipped creature get +1/+1, and creatures that share a creature type with it get +1/+1. So you can potentially get +2/+2 to your gang. Well, yeah, yeah. Crashing Drawbridge taps it, give everything haste. Swiftfoot Boots is protection and haste. Lightning Greaves protection and haste. Borrow's Charm is protection. Drow Skull Captain spirits get hexproof and +1/+1. Not a bad deal for St. Traft. And Marrow Levitator. Whenever you play a blue spell, you can untap it. Taps to get flying, but there for the convoke bit. All right, let's see here. Anything I dislike? Because this is going to have to go down. I don't think Konda's Banner is going to make it. 2 and 2 for a boost is whatever. It's whatever. I guess that's a graveyard bit. We'll move that over. And that's technically a removal bit. That's my bad. That's protection, a little bit of a boosty. I think we can get rid of spirit bonds. Like I don't think I'm if it doesn't protect the commander, I'm not super interested in it. Roar of resistance has my attention. Melee. Spirits have melee. Sack. Block ability, flawless maneuver, rootborn. All right. Not bad so far. All right. We already did getting into technically the removal. I consider tap removal. We'll just kind of do that. Why? I'm pretty sure I've done that with Tibalt's Trickery multiple times where I'm like, yeah, that's good. And they're like, nope, that should go away. I'm just going to put this over here. We know the Sakushimas. So I apologize, but not really. So I don't feel like super bad. All right, let's see here. Breath of Sleepless. Already talked about that. That's Leon and Bola. One to come out, one to equip, and you can tap it, unattach it, and tap target creature. So potentially that tap thing going on. If I get to tap my creatures, I'm going to tap them. Prismari Command, creating the treasure, drawing, removal. It's a great modular card. Dugger Hedge Mage, ETBs to destroy artifacts and enchantment. Crackle Burr is either tapping or untapping for you. So I like both of them, and then it's bouncing and 3 damage. Tradewind Rider is bouncing, tapping your creatures. Not a bad deal. Shackle Guys, you can tap 2 of your spirits to tap target creature you don't control. That's a big thing. Junk Winder allows you, has affinity for tokens. So in this deck, potentially coming down for blue for a 5/6. Then whenever a token ETBs for you get to tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls. It doesn't untap during its controllers on next untap. So I think Junkwinder is a bonkers card. It's so good. Opposition, tapping your creatures to tap down target artifact, creature, or land. Great card. Hate Flare. This 7 mana, which is the big thing. 5/5 Wither. So whenever it deals damage to something, it gets -1/-1 counters on it. Then you can pay 3 to untap it and deal damage to its power to target creature or player. So it's nice because you can attack, pay the 3, untap it, kill something, and then probably kill something. It depends on what they toss in front of it. But being 7 mana, I want my top end cards to be X spells. That's what we're going for. Barely Knock Trapper, tap target creature, and then whenever you cast a white spell, untap it. Not a bad deal. Nico Una. ETBs destroy target enchantment, and then whenever you cast a spirit spell, return it back to your hand. I have the other one in here too. Where is that? And Yuki Ona. This is the ETB destroy an artifact. Whenever you cast a spirit, return it back to your hand. That's super slow removal, but it's a spirit. And so we'll see how that goes. Swords of Plowshare for the removal. Shadow the Source, convoke removal, dealing 6 damage or destroying an artifact. At least it's an instant. Conclave Tribunal, convoke. This is a 4 mana O-ring. Chaos Warp, yep. Obelisk of Erd. This is another reason why I wanted to kind of go a little bit of Spirit Tribal. Because you choose Spirit as a creature type, those creatures get +2/+2. So at least a little bit in that realm, a boost, along with the Convoke. Zephyr Singer has Convoke, giving flying tokens to a creature that convoked it. Flying Vigilance. Nebelgast Herald. Whenever another spirit enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature and opponent controls. And so that's the bit. That's kind of probably why I'm leaning towards tapping down stuff. Dispatch, Metalcraft, exile a card. Path to exile a card. Swift reconfiguration. This turns something into a vehicle, which I don't hate. Artifact with crew 5 and loses all other card types. So we'll probably get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. I don't think that's going to be necessary. White Sun's Twilight and Martial Coup. You get to basically 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might. Artifact creatures tokens with Toxis 1. If this is 5 or X or more, destroy all other creatures. So this is the Wrath section. It's Wrath, make creatures, and Wrath with Convoke. And I'll probably keep those because then they're kind of together. I have a little bit of Indestructible going on there. Stoke the Flames, Convoke, dealing damage. Generous Gift. Jared's Belligerence. It's an X spell. And so hopefully can turn this into something Convoke. Don't have to. But then there's Populate attached to it as well. Dealing damage with X, and then Populate. Clash of Realities. Cool card. Gonna big cut right away. But whenever you have a spirit come into play, it deals 3 damage to a non-spirit creature. Whenever a non-spirit comes into play, it deals 3 damage to target spirit. So, but that is gone. Manriki Gusari, equipment for 2, 1 to equip, and then it taps to destroy target equipment. Sky Sovereign Council flagship, ETBs or attacks, deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Flying, so not a bad one. Not a bad one at all. Wicked Slumber, Convoke, tap up to 2 target creatures, put a stun counter on them, and then another, stun counters. 4, Convoke, not a bad deal. Temporal Cleansing, Convoke, and then putting a card on top of a library. Geist Light Snare. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a spirit, 1 less to cast if you have an enchantment, and then you can pay. So basically, a blue to counter target spell. Might still hang around. I will have spirits, hopefully, and so will you. Artistic Refusal, Convoke, and then you choose one or both. What counter spell? Draw 2 cards, discard a card. Not a bad deal for Convoke. This is one that I think could be really fun. Banishing Knack. 1 blue, instant. Until end of turn, target creature gains tap, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And so if I have the ability to untap a bunch of times, like with an intruder alarm or the ascendancy, um, that can bounce a board. And I like that idea. And I remember watching years ago with Jeskai Ascendancy in standard. Somebody was trying to do this, and I don't know if it became a thing or not, but kind of half-assed remember that. Devouring Light is exile with Convoke. Cut Short is destroying with Convoke. And then Creative Outburst and Magma Opus are just kind of like nice removal at the end game and a little bit of card draw and a little bit of this and that. But it's kind of also there like early treasure with this. It's kind of like a cycle thing going on, cycling. So I like both of them. Let's see if there's anything we can cut there. Going through again. Want to keep as much Convoke as I possibly can. That's actually should be in removal or protection. Either one. Oh, probably protection. That's how I try and use my counter spells. Temporal Cleansing, Wicked Slumber, Sky Sovereign can probably go away. I think I'd rather have it in like the ramp and the draw. And we'll see if there's anything else. I probably have enough tapping of creatures in my ramp section, so that can go away. I like the populated idea. Let's reread this. Deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Whenever a creature dealt damage this way dies this turn, populate. So I like that. I like that. There's some potential there. General Gift, Stoke of Flames, Wrath, tokens, bop, bop, bop. And then we have tapping. Oh, this should have been protection, the flying part. And so is the boost with Obelisk of Erd. Removal. We'll probably get rid of some of these. Figure it out a little bit. Yeah, I think there's enough tapping stuff down in here that can really help out. It probably gets hurt if Intruder Alarm is in the deck, but maybe I can, somebody goes, um, enter combat, tap all their stuff down. Maybe that's what I can do. Crackle Burr, bop, bop, bop. Because I think Intruder Alarm would be, it's just one card, but Need to be able to get rid of a couple of things. So Chaos Warp and Generous Gift. I think that makes sense. All right, let's go through and get. We're gonna cut swords. We will cut dispatch and path. And then I think we just want to make sure. Yeah, there's like creature removal. And so I don't need those. I don't necessarily care. We want to stick with. We got plenty here. Tapping, untapping. All right, for now, cool with that. Where are we at? 50? All right, this might be a little slow. All right, Spectral Arcanist already went through that. Return to the ranks, convoke, return X target creatures or cards with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh man, that's rough. That's rough. Let's convoke though. One thing I should probably think about pointing out with Saint Traft. So if I tap this convoke, if there's with that token created, that does not get to come in as part of your convoke. It doesn't split up like that. When you're paying for convoke, it kind of all has to happen at the same time. You can't like float the convoke, if that makes sense. So that just can help out later. We'll do return to the ranks just in case, but probably not. I can sacrifice restoration specialist to return an artifact and enchantment back to your hand from the graveyard. And that's probably left over from the dwarf part, but I kind of like it. Snapcaster Mage allows me to cast Convoke from the graveyard again. Emery allows me to cast artifacts from the graveyard. And Radiant Scroll Welder. Instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, exile an instant or sorcery card at random from the graveyard. You may cast it this turn. If the spell cast this way will be put in the graveyard, exile it instead. I think I don't have a lot of burn. I have a little bit, but not a lot. Some of the sorceries. Could probably get rid of Restoration Specialist. We have Emery, Snapcaster, and Spectral Arcanist. So those two can get cut. These three can stay. This is potentially on the chopping block. There's not a lot here. That's 2 or less. All right, that's just graveyard stuff. And then let's get rid of another smaller bit. All right, just convoke in general. Venerated Loxodon. Yeah, they can stick around. City on Fire is going to be in there, and that's doubling damage. Joyful Storm Sculptor. Whenever ETBs create 2/1/1s, and then whenever you cast a spell that has convoke, it deals 1 damage to each opponent in each battle they protect. That we'll put that over there. That's technically there. Invasion of Segovia will probably stay in here. So whenever ETBs create 2/1/1s with trample, 4 damage for the battle to flip, and then 3/3 non-creature spells you control have convoke. And then you get to untap the beginning of your step, untap up to 4 target creatures. So giving convoke, like I said earlier, is pretty big in here, I would say. Halo Hopper, convoke 3/2. I'm gonna cut that. That's just not doing like anything. Flock Chaser Phantom, 5/5/6/6, convoke flying vigilance. Whenever it attacks, the next spell you cast this turn has convoke. So giving convoke is nice. Complete the circuit. 6 mana convoke. Instant. You may cast a sorcery spell with flash. And then whenever the next spell or instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell twice. You may choose new targets. Thunderhead Squadron. 3/4 flying convoke. Again, we'll see if that works. I'm not super happy about that. Astral Wingspan, Aura, convoke, and then it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and then creature has +2/+2 and flying. Not thrilled. Martyr's Soul, 3/2. It is a spirit, but convoke, and then gets 1/1 counters. Seraph of the Masses, 7 mana flying convoke, and then its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. That can be a big one. That at least might give a little bit of a push. And then Flight of Equinauts. 8 mana, flying convoke for 4/5. That seems brutal. 5, 6, 7, 7, 8. Ugh. Ugh. I think we'll cut that one. And then Shivan Branch Burner, 7 mana, 4/4, flying haste convoke. For some reason, I like this a lot better than this. And so it's 1 toughness versus haste. I don't know if I care about that. I don't know if I care about that. I don't know if I care about either of these. At least this can be huge. Seraph of the Masses. Ugh. Convoke sucks. Yeah, agreed. It is the Segovia one is a really cool battle. We're gonna cut both of those for now. They're not up to snuff. But these others we can keep. Just make sure. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, those are fine for now. Little drink. All right. 3 more piles. We got a good cut session so far. Um, let's go with the surrounding damage ones. We'll see. All right, so I did Joyful Storm Sculptor, Therma Alchemist, deals 1 damage to everything. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, untap it. So again, I can tap this for the Convoke and untap it if it's instant or sorcery. Witty Roast Master, whenever you have a creature ETB, 1 damage to each opponent. So it is a, let's get there, Impact Tremors as a creature. I'm not displeased about that. And then also, just since we want to talk about it, we have Perforos in here as well. So, re. All right, Outpost Siege is there for the whenever a creature dies, you get to deal 1 damage to a creature or player. There might be like a 1 damage thing going on that I want to keep having. Flame Fusillade. Until end of turn, permanents you control gain tap, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Burning Earth, 1 damage to that player whenever a player taps a non-basic land for mana. That's probably gonna mostly be me. Let's get rid of that. I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to hurt myself. Blister Split Gremlin. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap it. 1 mana, not a bad deal. Kirin Negotiations, tap an untapped creature you control. It deals 1 damage to target player. That is definitely going to stay in. Exalted Flamer of Tetsnik. You get to randomly return an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard to your hand. And then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, 1 damage to each opponent. Gearson Starn Kellermorph. But basically, if you deal 1 damage to a permanent or player, this deals 2 damage to it as well. Or 2. That's kind of what I'm going for. Goblin Sharpshooter. Whenever a creature dies, you get to untap it. Taps to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Chandra Fire of Kaladesh. Whenever you cast a red spell, untap it. Taps to deal 1 damage. Again, you can use these untappers whenever you're casting spells with Convoke as well. Lobber Crew, 1 damage. Taps to 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, untap it. Cinder Pyromancer. Taps to deal 1 damage to a player. And then red spells will untap it. Solfim Mayhem Dominus. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage to that player or permanent instead. And then you can discard 2 cards, put an indestructible counter on it. So we'll see if we go in that direction. There's definitely some stuff going on. Torbrand increasing the price or the damage being dealt. Goblin Medics, when it becomes taps, 1 damage to any target. Spire Side Infiltrator, whenever it becomes tapped, 1 damage to each opponent. Lorehold Apprentice, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, spirits you control have or gain tap, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then Lore Hold Excavation. At the beginning of your end step, mill a card. If it's a land, mill this way, you gain a life. Otherwise, deals 1 damage to each opponent, and then you can pay 5, exile a creature card to get a 3/2 red-white spirit creature token. And then Nettle Drone taps 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, untap it. So, let's see here. I kind of like a lot of what's going on, but it will depend on probably. I think Outpost Siege probably just has to go, and Perforos will probably end up being cut. I'd rather have. Guy killed me with Perforos this week. That was fun. All right. That's one good card so far. Talking about Perforos. You're wild. I like you, but you're wild. My decks aren't good. I'm not even a good player. My decks suck. I wouldn't even I wouldn't worry about me during a game. Definitely not. Endbringer can tap to deal a damage, but it untaps during each other player's untap step. You could draw cards. At 3 mana or 3 colors, I think this probably just isn't going to work. Traxos, trample 7/7, enters the battlefield tapped, and doesn't untap during your untap step. But whenever you cast a historic spell, untap Traxos. So we'll see. It's just one of those untappers. Energy Arc, untap any number of target creatures. Those creatures neither deal nor receive damage in combat this turn. So a little bit of a fog as long as you can put it on tap stuff. Pure Sight Marrow. You can pay an Azorius and untap it, and then look at the top card and exile it if you so choose. Blister Coil. Oh, this is the untap package, clearly. Blister Coil, weird, 1 mana. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and then untap it. Ryu has the untap symbol. I don't really like this. Discard a card. It deals damage equal to its power to any target. If excess damage was dealt, draw a card. We'll cut that. I don't like it. I don't like it in here. Galectrode taps to deal 1 damage to any creature or player, and then you can play an instant or sorcery, untap it. Captain of the Mists. Whenever a human untaps or ETBs untap it, so it's 2/3, kind of stuff like that. Mirren Spy. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may untap target creature. Dope. Dramatic Reversal. Untap all non-land permanents you control. Dope. Tide Force Elemental. Landfall. Untap it, and then you can, as an ability. Pristine Angel. As long as it's untapped, it has protection from artifacts and all other colors. And then whenever you cast a spell, you may untap it. 4/4 flyer, protection, yada yada. To arms, untap all creatures you control, draw a card. Rally the Wings, untap all creatures you control, flying, get +2/+2. Revel Squad, whenever you're attacked, untap all the creatures you control. White Plume Adventurer, this is at the end of your turn, you get to untap a creature. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, untap a creature you control. I'm not going to complete a dungeon very fast, so I wouldn't count on the untapping all creatures you control. We could probably cut that. Drum Bellower's probably going to be in. Untapping all your creatures every. I'll untap your package. I'll take that to bed with me tonight. All right. Halo Fountain. It untaps creatures for drawing a card, creating a token, or winning the game. Leonin Battle Mage, 4 mana. Whenever you play a spell, untap it. Battered Golem, 3 mana, 3/2, doesn't untap during your untap stuff, but whenever an artifact comes into play, you may untap Battered Golem. Midnight Guard, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, untap Midnight Guard. Steelfin Whale, 6 mana, affinity for artifacts, so not a bad deal. 3/4. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield you control, untap it. We have Village Bell Ringer, Flash, ETB, untap all creatures you control. Retreat to Coral Helm. You get to it's landfall, untap a creature you control, or scry. And then Flying Vigilance Haste. And then whenever Aurelia attacks, the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Technically, I don't care about the untapping of creatures, but if they are going to be like mana, we'll see if that'll work. Aura of Dominion. It's an aura, one tap an untap creature you control, untap enchanted creature. I don't think that actually works here, like I was thinking was. So we'll cut that. And then Intruder Alarm, creature comes into play, untap all creatures, even your opponent's stuff. But that part doesn't really matter because it's nice to just have a ton of triggers with like opposition or whatever in play. So I like what's going on here. Some of this stuff is maybe a little expensive, so we'll have to figure it out. Rally the Wings, Pristine Angel probably goes. That protection's nice though, but Mirror and Spy. It's a little bit of a combo too. Mirror and Spy with Emery allows you to cast like an artifact from the graveyard, which allows you to untap Emery to do it until you kind of out of mana in that way too. So Captain of the Mist. So let's see here. Also a human creates humans. Human in the Mist might be able to get me some stuff there. Blister Coil, Pure Sight Marrow. All right, that's where we're at. All right, last package here is going to be tokens. All right. Elemental Mastery, Aura, tap, create X11 red elemental creature tokens. And they have haste. And then you have to exile them at the next end step. So it's not bad, especially if we're going like creatures ETBing tokens. Be aggressive, 1 damage. All right. Release to memory, exile target opponent's graveyard. For each creature card exiled this way, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Spirits, a little bit of graveyard hate. Monastery Mentor, getting you monks for non-creature spells. Brimaz, King of Oreskos, getting you tokens whenever you attack or block. And it has Vigilance. I like this card, but I also don't like it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Let's keep it for now. Young Pyromancer. Instant sorceries create creatures. Non-creature spells get you 1/1 creatures. Millicent Restless Revenant. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each spirit you control, and then flying. And then whenever another non-token spirit you control dies or deals damage, create a 1/1. That probably goes. I probably won't have enough non-token spirits. Whispering Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, get a 1/1 spirit. Only trigger once. Yay. Stony Brook Schoolmaster. Whenever it becomes tapped, create a 1/1 wizard. Battle Screech is creating 2 1/1 flyers, and then the flashback. Tapping creatures. That's a big one. White creatures you control. Yeah, that could maybe work. Court of Grace. Creating 1/1 spirits and 4/4 angels. Benevolent Offering is creating 1/1 spirits, gaining some life, which doesn't really matter, but it's that. I say package a lot. Spectral Procession, creating 1/1 flying spirit tokens. Call the Copper Coats creates a lot of tokens. That's the big thing there. Haunted Library, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you can pay 1, which creates a 1/1 spirit for you. Secure the Waste, instant speed tokens at X. Song of the World Soul, whenever you cast a spell, populate. That's not going to be doing enough. We'll get rid of that. But Divine Visitation, whenever one or more creature tokens would be created, make that many, make them 4/4 white angels. Over the Top, Hallowed Haunting. As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. And then also, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white spirit cleric token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of spirits you control. Not a bad deal. Custody Soulbinders, 1/1 counter on it, where X is the number of other creatures on the battlefield. So that could be a big one. And then you could pay 3, remove a 1/1 to create a 1/1 spirit creature token. Limited possession, doubling the amount of tokens that are made. Same thing with Mundrak. Wildfire Awakener, Convoke, making tokens. When those tokens are tapped, deals 1 damage to any player, to target player. Kaikar makes spirits, can sacrifice spirits for red mana. It's not a bad deal. Clarion Spirit. It is a spirit, but whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create another 1/1 spirit flying. Twilight Drover. Whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on it. And then you can pay 3 and remove a 1/1 to create 2 spirits. Path of the Ghost Hunter. This is X sorcery, but creating X 1/1 white creature tokens with flying. Nesting Dovehawk. At the beginning of combat on your turn, populate whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control. Put a 1/1 counter on Nesting Dovehawk. So if it didn't have that 1/1 counter thing at the end there, I probably would not consider it because populating here doesn't really matter. But if I'm making a lot of tokens, like Path of the Ghostbuster, whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1. Yeah, I could just like X is 6, and this becomes an 8/8 flyer. Like that seems good. That seems solid. Axe Guard Cavalry, that is left over from I don't know where that came from the dwarf section. All right. Determined Iteration. At the beginning of combat on your turn, populate. Token is sacked at end of turn. Like I said, the populate part doesn't really matter. Like I like populating bigger creatures. Tempt with Vengeance. Give me a bunch of 1/1s with haste to give everybody else 1/1s with haste. I dig it. Catcher's Monument. Whenever you cast a creature spell, get a 1/1 white warrior kitty. White creature spells cost 1 less. I think that's kind of done. I don't like that. Hoffrey Ghost Forge. Spirits get +1/+1, trample and haste. And then whenever another non-token creature you control die, exile it. If you do, create a token. And when this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to your graveyard. And then Sahili is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a servo. That's it. That's the deck. We're just gonna put that together. So I do everything I do. Elemental. All right, we still have a stack. All right, we still have a stack, but we did good on our cuts. We're nice and aggressive. Right there. We are under an hour and a half. Didn't make it under an hour, but we're doing our best, right? Let's go CMC order. Is that what I care about? Let's try and do that. 3, 5. Does that work? Nope. There we go. X spell 4. Spell 3, 2, 4. I wonder if I should go through and just be like, I really want these cards. I wonder if that's just going to be faster. We'll do that after this bit. And then like any support cards that can go in and help, that could be something that speeds the process up. This is probably just 5. Oh, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4. Spells just kind of go faster. 3, 6. Technically, maybe 1. Optimistically, 1. 3, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. There's going to be a thick spot at 3 and 4, I think, this round. Flame Fusillade can kind of go. I think that goes away. So, Renshai, do I only have like one good card in here still? Oh, you're already gone. Good night. Sleep well, sleep well. 7, 6, 3, that's 8, 5. I'm pretty sure we're cutting that. We'll just cut Return to the Ranks. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. 2, 4. Oh. 4, 2, 4, XX. That's probably set those at 2, 3s, 4s. I have a good shot at that being 2, 3, 2, 2. All right. 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 8. 2, 3, 3, 1, 1. 2 will cut me. B. 3, 2. We won't cut nothing. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4s. 5, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 2. 4, 3, 3. 1 a little bit here. I think I'm gonna be hoping for that. 6, 4, 3. Hopefully that's that. 3, 4. I have a feeling I'm going to be cutting a lot of these creatures that like untap when something happens. I just don't have that much room, unfortunately. 2, 3, 3, 3, 4s. 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, where are we at? Move that over just a wee bit. All right. Yep. Those 3s and 4s need to get cut down. Get all right. Let's go through big, go down to small. All right. I think where it can go, I don't think there's anything like huge that I'm going for. We'll keep the convoke, tokens with indestructible, convoke, populate with damage. We can cut that for now. Let's just cut that. I think that's fine. I like the tokens. I like the wraths there. City on fire. Yep. Oh, that's a creature. I thought I was. Elemental. Let's go for these big swingers of tokens coming into play. All right. We reduce that cost. So there's like Tokens, like mass amounts of tokens coming into play. Same thing there. I'm okay with that. That's 3, 4, 5. 5 bits. Those are top end. I'm fine with that. All right. At 6 spot. Let's see here. Kosla, yep. Obelisk. Convoke. Just Convoke is just eating up that end spot. I'd have to go through and just see how many Convokes I have. We'll get rid of the 3/4 fly and do nothing. Aurelia as an untapper, does that feel weird? Like nobody's gonna like that one bit. It's at that 6 spot too. But it's not I don't feel awful about it. So I can tap down, convoke something out, play Aurelia, attack, untap those things, and potentially invoke again. Eh, eh, let's see. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that's received. Knight Errant, yeah. Magnus of the Red, I like that. Venerated Loxodon, giving 1/1 counters on creatures that convoked it. That part I don't really care about. I like the draw. If the draw wasn't there, that'd be done. Let's get rid of the Loxodon. I don't think that's doing nothing. Whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, deals 1 damage to each opponent and each battle they protect. Call the Copper Coats is another one that gets you a lot of tokens. Divine Visitation. Hoffrey's doing some work too. Alright. Alright. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do after this bit is just go through and throw the cards down that I think that I want to play with. What's going to work. Let's get that 1 spot out of here too. Alright. Opt, Curiosity, Preordained Ponder, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Do I care about that? I have enough, probably like draw a discard that can go away. Of One Mind is probably okay still. Ragavan, Curse, Spring, Wayfarer's Bauble, Paradise Mantle, Soul Ring, Vanishing Knack is still cool. Lean and Bola, Bop, Bop, Bop. Dig them all. 1 spot's pretty sweet. All right, 2 spot. Let's see here. Bit of Reunion's dope. Discard a card. Can't be blocked. Whenever it untaps, pay 2 to draw a card. Other than their hand, draw a card. It's cheap. Doesn't have to attack. I think Smuggler's Copter can just go. I think that's okay. Treasure map. I think I have enough treasures to make that a thing. Like I'd rather just draw cards. That's kind of nice. Idle, yeah. Impulse, Telly Time. Talisman. Sorcerer's Class. Yeah. Deep Gnome Terramancer. Whenever 1 or more lands enter the battlefield under an opponent's control without being played, you may search your library for a plains card. Put it into battlefield tapped. So that doesn't care if you have more or less. That's the big thing. We'll keep that for now. Yeah. I think Sunscape Familiar can go away. Vault Robbers, there. Talisman, Orthopter, Atlas, Roar of Resistance. Yeah, I like the haste thing for the tokens. I like that a lot. Aerial Boost, gains flying until end of turn. Iffy. +2/+0 in haste. Iffy. Yeah. Spellskite. Oh, it's so hard to beat Spellskite. Such a good card. If we're doing Crashing Drawbridge, probably all right with that. Destructible, Counterspell, Treasures with the potential to Snapcaster. Junkwinder is tapping, damages. So I'm tapping and damages and 3/2 white spirit creature. That could probably go. Lorehold, Excavation. Energy Arc can probably also go. Pure Sight Marrow, down with that. Dramatic Reversal to arms, Rally the Wings. Those are iffy with the Dramatic Reversal. I think Soldier, Elemental. This is at least non-creature, but this being an instant of sorcery, that can go. Creature dying for an opponent. I'd probably cut that as well. And then me casting my second spell, that'll happen. That'll happen. And that's vague enough at this point to be fine. That's fine. That's fine. Let's see here. This 4 spot. I think I have enough at the 1, 2, and 3 spot for that'll untap themselves that I probably just want to cut the 4s that do that. There's not a ton, but there's enough. We'll still keep the draw discard thing. Search the premises just for the artifacts. Phalosage. Convoke. That's a draw discard. I don't hate that. I think we can cut a Pharaoh. I don't think I'm going to be getting creatures enough on every turn. Maybe. We'll keep it around. Storm the Vault. Keep that. Galzareth. Horde Hauler. Oh, that's off a little bit. Cool. Rose Room is a little bit of damage. Keeper of the Cord. Is early tokens? Land. Keeper of the Accord can kind of go. All right. 5, 6, down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's probably like get a land, remove something, land, ultimate. Under your control, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target. We can probably get rid of that. Scare Tiller, I'm okay with. Golden Throne. I don't think I'm going to have many. We can cut that. I don't think I'm going to have many cards that incrementally, other than Saint Traft, that are going to just make tokens. Sacrifice. Solom can stick around for now. Drogue Skull, yeah. Yep. Meryl Levitator is going to be gone. That's that 4 mana part. Like, you're just going to get stuck at 4 mana. That's going to be rough. You're not going to be happy with it. I'd rather have them at 1, 2, and 3. Because, like, giving something flying's okay, but not at 4 mana. And that ability. Yeah. Sakashima. Convoke. Tapping creatures. Bouncing creatures with tapping creatures. At least tapping creature, that's like in the theme of what's going on. So I'm happy with that. Convoke. Whenever you cast a creature spell during an opponent's turn, tap up to 1 target creature. Whenever you cast a spirit spell, though, it's just an enchantment, but I don't think I have enough flash going on, and I don't think I have enough spirits going on, so we'll get rid of that. Yuki Onna, I don't think I'm casting enough spirits to make that repeatable part worth it. That'd be the rough part. Yeah, I think those are gonna go away. They probably need to be in a more dedicated spirit deck. I do like the Spectral Arcanist, though. I think that's gonna do some good work. Perforos, Kirin, Exalted Flamer. It's a good card. It's a really good card. Sulfim Mayhem Dominus. Doubles the damage of non-combat damage an opponent I don't think I'm too much into that. So I think we can get rid of Sulfim, which is different than Red Source for Torbran. Um, Plenty of random red cards. It's that non-combat part that's kind of rough. Traxos, I don't think I'm gonna have a 7/7's a beater though. That's a beater. Reveal Squad is on tapping. Leonin Battle Mage is something that can go. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, but it's not really part of the convoke bit that's going to be any good. I think Elemental Mastery also goes. Like I was looking at it as like a tap enabler, but I think I have enough in here. That'll be fine. Release to Memory is just there for the artifact or the tokens. We'll see how that goes. Whispering Wizard is too expensive, doesn't trigger enough. That can go. That is a tap enabler. It gets you tokens. Problem is that it isn't spirits. I think we can cut that for now. There is a convoke like 6 that gets you 3 spirits. And I think I'd like to get that in here, but I didn't buy it. I don't have it. It's only like 15 cents or whatever. Court of Grace is probably too slow. Monarch is fun though. Monarch is fun to add in there. Benevolent Offering gets me some 1/1 flyers. I'll have to see how many enchantments. I won't cut this until then. Control 7 or more enchantments. 7 or more enchantments. Okay. And then whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a. Mm, mm. Yeah, that's cut. That ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work here. That's gonna be like, if I have all my enchantments in play, this happens. Yeah. Um, Soulbinders will be good. Anointed Procession and Mondrak work. I like Kaikar. Non-creature spell, spirit, and then he can sack the spirits for mana. I know the question that I'm not 100% on would be, can I convoke and then add the red mana? I don't think I can for the same spell. So pretty sure I can't, but Nesting Dovehawk just gets huge. Lucky. All right. We're there. We're making progress. Let's see here. That's everything cut so far. We got the 3 spot left. Already got that. Let's see here. Oh. Big yawn. All right. So if I don't like Ifara, then I'm probably not gonna like, Welcoming Vampire, and then Takasia's Welcome. So if I don't like those, I'm not gonna like Ifara. But if I do like them, then I'm fine with it. Rumor Gatherer, Venture the Meek, Verity Circle. The tapping is still kind of in here, so I'm down with that. That is a draw discard. That is a draw discard. That is a draw discard. That's creating clues. Ghastly Discovery. Draw. Cut us. I might want to have something in here, which I don't have currently, is something that's going to bring back everything of something. So, like casting all your instants and sorceries in your graveyard, or bringing back all the artifacts and enchantments from into play. And so, if I'm drawing and discarding enough cards, that's something that I'd want to think about. I'll have to go through and see how many creatures and card types that I have here. So, whenever you attack, okay, so I do have to attack to be able to do stuff. So I get to untap them and could tap them again, which is dope. Jeskai Ascendancy, Smuggler's Shares, creating artifacts. A lot of this stuff that might just turn into maybe get a Smothering Tithe in here. Cultivator's Caravan, Honor Worn Shaku. Yeah, okay. This 3 spot that's a solid spot. There's protection. I think I can get rid of your temple is under attack. I have plenty at this point of indestructible and protection, so gotta start working my way out of that. Drug Skull Captain. I'm still happy because it protects that, but also giving a boost to those spirits. Devouring Light. Exile target attacking. Yeah. Destroy target tapped creature. Generous Gift. Probably want to get Nico Ona can go away. Just like the red one that does artifacts. Chaos Warp and Generous Gift. If one goes, the other goes. So they're fine at this point. 3 damage to target creature or player. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Alright. Duger. Prismari. Nettlegeist. Emery, I'm still cool with that. Invasion of Sokovia. Still. Yep. Murder Soul is iffy. At this point, Winnie Roastmaster, Gearson, Goblin, Chandra, Lobber Crew, Cinder, Goblin Medics, Spire, Infiltrator, Netter Drone, Nettle Drone, Electrode, Captain, Mirren, Landfall, Drum Bellower, Halo Fountain. Do I care about that? Untap 15 tapped creatures you control win the game. That's actually doable in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 treasures. Battered Golem is okay. Midnight Guard. That can get me a lot of triggers. So one thing here with like if I have my tokens come into play and I have, let's say, like Intruder Alarm in play, along with like opposition, all those triggers enter the stack and I could go that's a big one right there. Retreat to Coral Helm is nice. Untap all the creatures. Making creatures. I think Brimaz has to doesn't have to go. Golly. Stony Brook, Spectral Procession. It's definitely in. Non-token is definitely in. Is that part? Do I care about that? I think we can get rid of Spectral Procession. Twilight Drover. All right, let's get into see card types. Planeswalker. Let's make sure these are in the proper spots. Enchantment. There's going to be a lot of creatures. That's just kind of my style. Creature. Let's see here. Let's just get all the creatures there. Battle can be in the Planeswalker one. This might be the first battle I play with so far. Enchantment artifact. That's probably more of an artifact. Let's see there. Do. Let's see here. Instance. Like I said, this probably just turns straight into the relic, but we'll see. Yeah, that's a lot of creatures. I don't need to grab that many. I'll probably do a count after this. Yeah, that's more of a creature. I don't know. So many creatures. Enchantment. Instant. Cure negotiations with the intruder alarm is going to be Bonkers. Instant enchantments. Instant sorcery. Both instants? Yeah. Okay. Still a lot there. Instant. Artifact. Yeah, that is a lot of creatures. I'm going to have to focus on that and really cut back. Creatures. Last bit. I decided to make this deck after I had already taken apart the Convoke deck pre-con. And I was like, I'm not going to try and get everything back. I tried to get all the Convoke. I definitely went through and tried to do that. But then after that, I was like, I don't know where everything is. Half-ass put everything away, and it makes it hard. Makes it real hard. Oh, yeah. Instance. Sorceries. Okay. This is where we're at. Well balanced deck. Plenty of instants here. So I think this is where we'll do the really aggressive, like, this is what I want to play with, and see where we're there. Because I think we're kind of cutting down enough. And I know this, like, but Laura, you made these huge pile of cards. Don't you want to play with all of it? It's like, these are just ideas that I want to play with, but Hour of Reckoning, I want Path. I don't need to do any of this stuff technically, other than the Convoke parts. So that's Convoke. Everything else can like fill in. There's Segovia. Boom. I don't actually want to play with that. I want Divine Visitation in there. Don't necessarily care. Sorcery. Just cut a ton. Apposition I want in there. Convoke. Curran. Probably the Anointed. Fidian, I don't care. Just Guy's Ascendancy. Prosperous Partnership. I want to play with these two. Intruder Alarm. About 50-50 right now. And so just going with like what I base really want to have happen in this deck. And then we'll see what's happening from there. That I know, absolutely know that I want it to be in there. Talismans, I always like them. Guardian Signet, Boots Greaves, World of the World. Let's go with Instance. Yep. Like the knack. I don't really care. Up. Invokes. see how this plays out. There's probably plenty here. All right. And we'll go through this and see if that's true. Then we'll go through and see what needs to be added in. That. I like that idea. Like the onesies. Don't necessarily care about that. Betty Brax. Rose Room. Yeah, we'll want those two. Oh boy. Don't necessarily care about that. Spectral. That. Just cutting like crazy. Do like that untapping bit. That's the spirit too. That's the spirit. How about you? I think I like all these damages because there's a lot of the damage ones that are untappers as well. So I don't like martyrs like that. Don't care. Where are we at there? That's a goddamn deck. All right. Wait a second. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 30. 30. 30. All right, that is 94. Okay. That made things real aggressive, like I was saying. I'm going to leave this out. I'm going to separate this into what they're doing and then see what I would need to add in. And there might be some cuts here as well, but let's see here. That's the untappers. That can be the damage spot. Damages, because then like curiosity can come back in and stuff like that. So I'm all for that bit. Untapping is a little bit different, which is untap everything. Graveyard, that's removal. Tapping, that is. All right, we're gonna have to still. All right, that's untapping. This is token bit. Graveyard recursion can go into that. Token production, mana, draw, damage, tapping down, graveyard, damage, protection. Giving artifacts. There isn't a lot of artifacts, but damage. This is just an untapper. Also an untapper. That is draw. Manas. Damage. Giving Convoke. We can put that into the ramp package. We can do that, right? Tokens. Protection. That's just a big fucking fatty. That ain't doing a whole ton. Removal. Tapping. Protection. Draw 2 cards. Protection. Do I care about these boosts? That's technically not. Let's cut those for now. I'll have to go through and actually do a count on convoking stuff. Counter and draw. We'll just say that's draw. Target creature, planeswalker. I hate that it's not one or both. 6 mana is a lot for an artifact. Or battle. Well, we could probably cut Shatter the Source as well. It's giving Convoke. Technically, that's boop. Removal, tokens, removal, prevention, draw, bop, bop. Tapping down, manas, boost. Oh, these are untapping. That is all right. Protections. That is mana. Technically a draw, discard, draw, tokens, damage, mana, token stuff, damage. All right, that's the bit. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 ramp. So there's technically enough in there. So right now we're probably damage based. So the artifacts probably don't matter much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have some protections going on. What's going on here? Tokens ET being. Yeah, we're gonna have to go through, definitely add some cards and then figure out from there. These are untappers. Plenty of protection, more than enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. Yeah, more than enough. All right, let's go. Start cutting. I can go in. Nope. Bygone Bishop probably is a nope. Uncut. I like Tandem Lookout at this point. Maybe. Masako makes a lot of sense, but draw a card, discard a card. We kind of got rid of the treasure theme at this point. Sorry. So that can be that. Probably get rid of Welcoming Vampire, but Mentor the Beak is good. Rumor Gather is good. We could do Sever Sprite for now, but a lot of these token things. Torbrand, if I got the other guy in there, I can do that. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Exalted Flame. Flamer. All right. Yeah, we can untap that. Perforos can go. Rose Room still kind of makes sense for me. Let's just double check on that. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a treasure token. If this is the first or second time this ability has a resolve in this turn. Otherwise, you may pay X. Do damage to any target. Creates treasure tokens. I'm down with that. Oh. Galzelnath can go. Ballynock with the tapping still is good, but the bouncing probably can go. Yeah, Farah can go. Inspired Sprite. Yeah. Ooh. Spellskite can still probably be there. Ornithopter. We did some good cuts there. I think I still like Aurelia, but Flawless Maneuver can go in. Woodbone. I'm going to try and be kind of aggressive here. Tokens are good with the Indestructible and that, but not necessarily blinking. Blinking doesn't really work. So all right. Chaos Warp. And let's just check on this. All right, that's creature, anything, creature, non-land permanent, creatures, non-land permanent and opponent controls. Turn target creature, really creature heavy, which is a bummer. So probably got to put Chaos Warp and Generous Gift back in for now as well. Prismari might do something. Yeah, these untappers weren't going to do too much. All right, big score. Do I care about these? Let's put at least the instance into play. I might like these just because they're removal, their draw, and their potential ramp. So we could... Ugh. Kind of expensive, but yeah, I can get rid of those. I'm fine with those for now. Vanishing Knock. I think Grand Cassendo can go back in. Did I cut all of the vehicles? Let's get that back in. I guess not right now. Bubble Matrix allows me... That is nice. Let's speed this game up a little bit. Ascent. Fiddy and I can go back in. That's out. Out. Back Tremors is back in. Search the premises. Whirlwind. I like Storm the Vault. Curse can go back in. So can Bitter Reunion. Curiosity. We can get rid of that. Some of these cheap things. We'll get rid of Pirate's Pillage and our Wraths. All right. So that officially cut that many cards. I'm not even going to count how many that is, because we might have to go back. We definitely got back up over 100, but we kind of brought everything back. Probably going to spend, it's already 11:11. All right, we're at 100. That was a good, aggressive half hour, though. Cut a lot of cards. We're doing all right. That's how many cards we've cut so far. And we're looking all right. Let's go see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. $32, which is too much, obviously. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 27. Oh, it's too much. Probably try and get those down around 15. I think one reason why I like the Bubble Matrix is because of the damage stuff that can happen. Source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player. It deals triple that damage instead. Source you control. So we got like 2 enhancers. Spell that has Convoke. It deals Seraph of the Masses. Okay, so I guess the other question ends up being is like, how much do I care about like these untappers, these creatures that are just... I like untapping everything rather than just one thing. Tap or untap another target creature. Kind of like that. Battered Golem probably can go. That does not untap part is rough. Unfortunately, I think that'd be a cool one, especially if I was leaning maybe more into it. All right, what are we doing tokens wise? Path of the Ghost, Wildfire, yep. Do I need the token doubling? Which I guess, does that matter? Do I care about that, or would I just rather have Divine Visitation? I like the haste. I got rid of the haste for the tokens. Sacrifice 2 other artifacts or creatures, put 4/4. Hmm. Doubling or just turn them into big old things? Let's cut the doubling. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's right, but fine there. Path, creating the spirits. Whenever they tap, bop, bop. Ba-da, ba, ba, ba. Okay. Tappers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mass untappers, which probably does not work. I like Augusta, Intruder Alarm, Drum Bellower. Maybe have to cut these 2. I cut those 2. Just you can't have all of them. Intruder Alarm stacks, and that's nice. I have Jeskai Ascendancy as well. And some of these creatures. Affinity for artifacts. That's cheap. Yeah, threesomes ain't, hey, scary. I wonder how often Mirren Spy is going to be any good. We could probably cut that. We're not like, we have the tokens, not necessarily casting that. Let's see here. I know we have humans, creatures, lands. Whenever an artifact ETBs, there's that. But it untaps on its own. That's the big thing. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, but it's only 1 mana. Hey, mad about that. Whoop. All right, protection. Let's see here. 2. Spellskite. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's more than enough. Yeah. Maybe we cut to Fierce Protection. Just because we have the replacement for it. Oh, Lightning Greaves or Swiftfoot Boots. There isn't really anything that I love about them. I'd rather have the Massed Haste. So we'll cut those as well. Which feels a little bonkers, but maybe that's Martyr's Cause, Devotion. Chant. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by creatures this turn. You gain 1 life for each damage prevented this way. That's kind of a nice little fog. So you block, convoke it, all the damage that would be done in blocking, you gain that life. Clever Concealment. Flying Vigilance, 3, 4. Down. All right, 3 cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Do I necessarily care? Bubble Matrix is rough because it allows other players to have saves their creatures too. All right, for now. Removal. Where are we at? This is gonna be probably a shit show. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 19. Way too much. All right, let's See what we're doing. All right, creature, creature, anything. This is creature tap, creature tap, creature tap. That is bounce. That is tap. Creature burn. Creature. Creature. Tap. Tap. It's technically burn. Probably preferred. And tap. Okay. Oh, that's wrong. Non-land permanent, I guess. I can go there. And then these are just individual creature ones, which are a little bit different. Do we get rid of the tapping, which probably takes out a lot of the like I think we can still do the convoke. So we still do the convoke one. Junk winder. And opposition as like a tap down. But I can get rid of 1, 2, 3. Anything that cares about tapping, I think we can start cutting. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. Banishing Knack. I think we get rid of the 2 staples here. Gift and warp. Okay. All right with that so far. All right. So I'm tapping a little bit of wrath, dealing damage over the top. With tokens? Yikes. What a fucking mess. Cantrip, cantrip. A little bit going on there. I guess that's draw discard, which is different. Cantrip. These are useful, but it's a draw discard. Cantrippy. Draw discard. Getting rid of a lot of the tapping, so Verity Circle can go away. That is a draw discard on tap. Cantrippy, that is technically big boy. Draw two, pop, pop, pop. Plenty. One reason why I like the idea of the graveyard stuff is because it allows me to cast those convoke spells again. So that can go there. So the question right now is there is too much. Am I doing anything in the graveyard specifically? Not really. So do I care about this section? Not really. I have enough, So I think over here, let's go. We'll cut Mentor the Meek. And we'll cut Telling Time. 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe I'm trying too hard with these. Let's cut those bad boys for now. Let's get rid of that. That allows. Yeah. I like the cost of Seize the Spoils and Bitter Reunion. Ghastly. Jessica's Ascendancy is definitely making it, and I like these two. So big score, and Unexpected Windfall can go for now. And I like those 3 for now, and then these all are convoking. All right, that. Connect those 2. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 24, 25. All right, manas. Let's see here. All right, tokens, planar. Oh, that is just, I guess we'll turn that into playing off that. That's a little bit of treasures and damage. Turn a bunch of stuff into it. Making some treasures. Yeah. I like a lot. Oh. That's a draw. All right. It's fine for now. Reducing the cost. Artifacts gain convoke. Ain't nothing that I really hate here. Maybe getting rid of Galzanoth? Did we get rid of the dealing the damage thing? Yeah, I guess. All right. Eye this up, Kaikar. Does that matter? Cast a non-creature spell. Kind of nice to have that just there. Two, 3, Cane. Paradise. Atlas, Convoke, reducing cost. Sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast, which is pretty good. Okay. That's where we're at. We'll do damage. All right. Everybody, singular. Everybody. 1 damage to each opponent. 1 damage to each opponent. Singularly, each opponent. 1 damage singularly. Each opponent. That is an enhancer, 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 and that is everybody. All right. So untaps, untap, untap, untap. Goblin Medics does not. So we could probably cut Goblin Medics. Has dealt 3 or more damage this turn. Exile her. I don't even know what she does on that backside. I don't even care about that. 2 damage to target player. 2 damage to target creature. To each opponent. Each player dealt damage this way gets an emblem with at the beginning of your upkeep. This emblem. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I like the enhancers. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 5. I like the spirit one. I think Tremors and Witty Roastmasters, good. I like the Untappers. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many. I don't like that this can't block. 3, 2. Spireside Infiltrator. This comes with a little bit of tokens, but we could probably cut that. Leave those around for now. All right. All right. Let's do moving. We're moving. I'm going to do a count real quick. Be nice if I was under 100, but I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 25. 25. 25. 25. So that's 100. 107. All right. Where are we? We're at 2 hours and 15. We're at 11:30. Let's see here. I'm gonna go CMC creature type. That's probably gonna be the night. Let's mix this around. All right. See where this goes. I'm actually kind of curious. So 107. All right. So we definitely started around. So probably around 270 is what we started with. Yikes. That's too many cards. 270. So that means I probably before my cuts was hitting 300 before I even started, and then cut down to 270. All right. Let's see here. So that's entertainment, and that's pod racing, right? Let's see here. Last drink of the night. So CMC, see where that curve is going, and then we can work from there. See what's going on. 4, the 7er. It's probably going to be better than that, but 4, 1, 3, 2, 2. That's a 6er. 5, 6, 4, 2, 2. 4 2s. 2. That's big. 3s. 2, 3. 4. All right. Starting to look decent, solid. Not mad about it. Lots of 2s and 3s. Folk. Yeah, 3's starting to run away a little bit there, isn't it? 4. I don't know where that's at. We'll put that at 6, but it's unlikely to be an issue. 3s. 4. 3 and 3. All right. So CMC card type, and then just kind of end up seeing where playability is. We still have technically 40 minutes. I'll go 3 hours max, but I don't think I'm gonna need that. Angel of Salvation, Path of the Ghost Hunter. Yeah. The only ones that maybe I don't care about. Destroy all token creatures. Because I mean that's the big one is make something with a ton of creatures and then convoke out Hour of Reckoning. That's the big one. 5, 6, 7 as if that's 7, 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. Then toxic. I mean that's kind of nice. Maybe. And then if I can give my next spell, that makes it huge too. So we're 107. All right. 1 damage to target player. Honor of Hour of Reckoning. Seraph of the Masses. Oh, that's another thing I was gonna do. All right. Once this is done, I'm gonna go through and separate convoke cards just to see how many convokes we have going on. Convoke, folks. Counter target spell. I draw 2 cards. Obelisk. It still kind of works. But I guess if this is like increasing the damage, I'd rather have like Torbrand in. All right, let's cut Obelisk of Erd. Giving Convoke is good. Copying spells is good. Yeah. That's still good. Junkwinder is a beast. Reducing costs for each token. Divine Visitation. Let's fully read through that. All right, 4/4 Convoke. When it ETBs, look at the top 6 cards of the deck. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with max value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoked Knight Errant. Put the revealed cards into your hand, then shuffle. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them. Okay, so if I convoke at 5, I can get 2 creatures of 5 or less. Okay. That's pretty good. I wouldn't be unpleased with that. Okay. Giving flying. Spectral Arcanist. Draw. Kaikar. Alright. Rose Room. Clever. Curian. Negotiation. Stoke the Flames. Sakashima. Scare Tiller's getting lands back. I still have some discard. I always have. Fetches. Torbrand still makes sense. Red Source. I guess I haven't done really. I think Torbrand can go. Ugh. Convoke to draw. Removal. Exile target non-land permanent opponent controls. All right. Wicked Slumber. Opposition. Other Sakashima. I don't hate that. Torbrand going's weird, but probably okay. Captain of the Mist is untapping. You may tap or untap target permanent. I don't know how much I care about that other than tapping down other people's stuff. Same thing with the landfall ditty. Intruder Alarm. Makes sense. Drum Bellower. Tide Force. Other tapped creatures you control get +1/+0. Other untapped creatures you control get +1/+0/+1. So it's a little bit of a defense too. Emery? Do I care about Emery? I mean, it's 1 mana. I'll have to see how many artifacts I end up having. Prosperous, Descent, Wand. Draw and discard, 2/1, backup, probably put a 1/1 counter on target creature so I can make it a 3/2. Zephyr Scribe, Jeskai, Ghostly Discovery, Of One Mind, down, Elf Wizard, Cinder, Nettle Drone. That'll be another. How many artifacts do I have happening? 1 damage to each opponent. Martyr's Cause, Tandem Lookout, Seize the Spoils. Yeah, whenever a creature dies, Cultivator's Caravan could be there just in case. Whenever another source you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, this deals 2 damage to that permanent or player. All right, so I guess here's the question: is how many 1 damages are being done? To everybody. So is Tandem, Fitty, and I. Is all that stuff worth it? Get that on camera, huh? It probably doesn't feel worth it. 2, 3, 4. Probably can cut Gearson as well. Like, they're good together, like Lorehold Apprentice. All right. Bop, bop. But I don't think does not make a deck. Or a red source you control. Curiosity still might be worth putting in there, but Blister Coil is also there. So 1, 2, 7. Maybe we keep the. We'll cut them. We'll cut Gearson too. Then we have the double decker or the triple guy. Did I already get rid of? Where'd he go? Interesting. All right. Check out these 2s. Slowing down on the cuts for sure. Impulse. Planar. Spellskite. Spellskite's still good. Magda. Let's see here. Blister Coil. These all make sense to me. Bowel. Yeah. All right. We didn't cut a lot there, which is not good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not good. All right. That's when you're truly slowing down what you need to do. There we go. All right. Gearson goes. I don't know why that got put on the bottom. That's my own fault. All right. Card types. Just to see what we're balanced or what is worth it. Yeah. Technically, I mean, oh yeah. After this, we're just going to go through and see how many Convoke cards we have. And then we'll do the bit. Then we'll see what's going on. All right, still should be decently creature heavy because we wanna still convoke stuff. Creatures. Not doing too bad though. I assume that most people play with a lot of creatures. That's what I do. But not saying everybody has to do that either. All right. Instance enchantments. Instance enchantments. Da 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 da. You control. All right. Yeah. Makes a ton of sense to me. All right. Still, that's probably more artifact anyway. I'm not gonna, unless I'm really looking for like a tap outlet. All right. How many? One. Okay, so there's artifacts with Emery and Nettle, whatever, untaps with colorless spells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that Nettle one just goes. Emery one, like this one, getting it back is super important. And then the only other thing that goes away is Wayfarer's Bauble, which I don't know. Then the next question ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. I think we can get rid of. Let's see here. Oh, I guess. Okay. That also counts. Let's get rid of. Oh, that's not a. I wish that was an artifact, but it is not. So Emery probably matters. No, Nettle Drone. Whenever you cast a colorless spell on tap Nettle, probably won't untap enough. And it does not block. Are there any other artifacts here? 2, 3. All right. Well, at least that part. Emery seems worth it. And then the other guy seems worth it. Okay. So I like the battle. Is there any artifacts in here that I want to get rid of? Maybe Cultivator's Caravan. Maybe not. Planar Atlas. Sacrifice that just in maybe. Fair's Bauble. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. And make sure we're taking anything out with Convoke with it. Has to have it. Well, let's pull out anything that can give it too. Enchantments. I like to be able to sacrifice the tokens just to protect whatever's happening. But let's get rid of Murder's Cause. Just regenerate, I think, is better than the damage prevention. Damage enhancement. 4/4s. Tapped and untapped creature you control. Convoke. Tap. Intruder Alarm. Prosperous Partnership allows me for more treasures. Draw a discard, +1/+1, untap those creatures. That does a shit ton. Back Tremors, Bitter Reunion, giving haste. Tapping. All right. Let's get those Convokes out there then. Convoke. It's fine. Sorceries. Draw a discard. Probably pick that out in the. Like these. Ghastly Demise with the Conspire. Would I rather have multiple instances of that? I can dig pretty deep with that. Seems like a nice big one. Seize the spoils. Do I care? Probably a little mid-gamey. Probably get rid of one mind. And seize the spoils. Maybe I have to add them in, depending on. Oh, and then anything Convoke-y. There we go. We Convoke. Okay. Ruh-roh. All right. Instance. Looks like those instants are going to be pretty important. Which isn't bad. All right. I don't hate any of these. Yeah. All right. Let's look at the Convokes. Bop, bop, bop. The instance is where the Convoke is. For sure. Okay. Creatures. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 46. Yeah. Gonna have to cut way back on that. All right. Ornithopter. Emery. Crackleberg. Electrode. Goblin Shooter. Does Goblin Shooter work? Creature dies, untap it. It's super good. Like just being able to kill off a bunch of 1/1 tokens. It's probably solid removal. To player. Seraph of the Masses. Chunkwinder. Whenever a token enters the battlefield, tap something down. So treasures, clues, tokens from St. Traft. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, untap it. Reducing the cost. Reducing the cost. Sakashima. Yeah. Zephyr Singer. Spectral Arcanist. Brax. Kaikar. Does Kaikar matter? Rose Room Treasurer might still be okay. This is to a player. Untapping. A little bit of protection. Tapping to untap. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap it. Okay. All right. Draw, discard, damage, damage, damage. Scry, draw, scry. Instant sorcery untaps that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's check out the convoke part. Let's see here. Convoked. Convoke. Bop, 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 bop. All right. Convoke cards naturally in the deck or giving to it. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 26. That's more than enough. All right. Last little bit, I'll probably just call it a night. Just doing what they're doing, just see what our numbers are and just try and cut from there. All right. It's going to be some card advantage. That's just a big fatty. That is tokens. Protection. Ramp. Draw. Draw. Kind of ramp. But protection. Protection. Removal. Draw. Removal. Put that over there. Draw 2, discard card, and a little bit of protection. Draw removals. Mana. All right. Let's move those in, I guess. Oop. All right, that can be removal. That can be. It's probably not worth it. Emery can go. Probably not worth it. Scare Tiller's ramp. Protection. Ramp. This is technically removal. Token. Token. Damage. I don't know what to do with these untappers. Like they might not be worth it. Removal. That's just a straight untapper. At least these give damage. You know what I mean? The damage is probably more important than just straight untappers that don't do much. Other than the ones that do a lot of. That'll be treasures. Be that. All right. Draw. Protection. That is tokens. Ping. This is. Let's see, draw discard. Damage. Technically, we'll give that the convoke part 2. All right, let's see how many draw things we have. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, 20. All right, at least close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 26. All right, we got rid of Emery. We got rid of Nettle Drone. We can kind of get rid, not worry about like the whole artifact bit. Maybe Planar Atlas. Let's see what else. Descent to Avernus. We've gotten rid of kind of that idea. Prosperous Partnership, Kaikar. Kind of like that, just adding a ton there. Damage, damage, damage. Pop, pop, pop. All right, we gotta somehow cut. Doesn't have to be everything. I don't think I'm gonna get down into the 70s, maybe the 80s tonight. Kaikar, Invasion. Plenty of little things there that you need creatures for. Gain Signet. Cultivator's Caravan. I might have enough just like tap functions in there. We'll cut that. Just like Sorcerer's Class. We have, where the other cards go? Prosperous Partnership. Just being able to tap the creature is really nice. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 24. Ugh. 6. Scare Tiller, Ornithopter, Wand. Might be overdoing it with Chief Engineer, but be nice to get more Convoke in there. Rose Room, Magda, Magus, Kaikar, Invasion. Wayfarers. Do I care about that part? It's a nice little ramp there, though. We'll have to figure that out later. That's okay. All right. Remember, we're just last bit. I'll figure it out over the weekend. Protection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Try and make a cut there. I like that. The tokens free. It's a spirit. Convoke, 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 and convoke. I guess Spellskite has to go for now. I guess that is what's going to happen. 3/4 flying vigilance enters the battlefield. Put a flying counter on each creature that convoked it. It's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal. I don't love it. Get rid of that thing too. Tapping down. We cut a lot of the tapping stuff, so I don't know how much I care about. It's a good question. Okay, let's head over here first. I like the full on untapping. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creature and artifact. I think Blister Coil Weird can get cut, which I don't like that one bit. It's just not, it's not dealing damage, not making tokens, not drawing removal. Like it's just not really doing anything. At least with this, it'll untap with artifacts and creatures. 3, 4. I think we can get rid of Steelfin Whale. Midnight Guard, I think, is going to do some work, though. I think that has a real shot. It's a real shot. All right, we're good there. We'll keep the 2 big convokes around. All right, back. Well, let's look at the tokens again now as well. Path. I like all that. All right. Vanishing Neck might be too cute. Probably too cute. Let's do that. Couple of wraths. We have some tapping. Rapid tapping. Just kind of singular removal. I don't care that it untaps. Wrath bounces. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, so convokes, try and stay. I like the token part. Divine Visitation. Goblin Sharpshooter. And Galectrode. I don't hate those. All right. These might be too much work. Captain and Tide Force. Probably go. Junkwinder is going to be work. Opposition. Tap Enabler is quite good. All right, let's do our damage. I'm going to hit that 3-hour mark though, aren't I? ETB for tapping. One to everything. That's for tapping. Everything, tapping. Sorry, it's everything's. Everything, one, and then increasing that damage. Okay, so giving spirits the damage is really nice. Untaps for multicolored. Whenever a creature comes into play. This is crazy. That'll be for anything. That's whenever a creature comes into play. Damage each opponent. Untap for a non-creature spell. That makes sense to me. That's instant and sorcery, but still there. Untaps for a red. Untaps for a red. Really kind of going after these creatures that untap that don't do a whole ton. I think we can get rid of Cinder Pyromancy. I still like Chandra just in case I can. That ultimate's really good. 2 damage to target player is pretty meh, but 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody. Dut, 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 dut. I like that. It's probably fine for now. Probably cut this whole subsection and be fine with it. All right, let's see where we're at. 2, 3, 4. 30. 30. 27. So almost 90. We're 87. I'm going to call it for the night. That was a lot of cuts. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you learned some new cards. If you have this deck going, let me know in the comments where you kind of ended up and see. Let me know what was worth it, what wasn't, everything. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you remember. All right. Have a good night. Bye.